Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that's going to let you make one super easily. And then you can distribute it everywhere and even earn money doing this. All in one place. And it's free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and even edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard.
Ever since we discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it's been really great. Really get the people involved and ask questions and get ideas for new podcasts. So it's really helped us. And I highly recommend you give it a try. So download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen.
Don't
Podcast
listen to this.
if you're not of age.
What's of age?
Of age is like you can make your own decisions in life without parental guidance. 18,
16?
18. We're not in Atlanta.
Georgia is 16.
We're not in Atlanta. That's what I said. We're not in Atlanta. This is 18 and up. Look,
Atlanta.
we're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words, and probably some things that might offend you. But
Don't listen to this.
can't wait till you listen.
Yeah, don't.
If
do
you're
it.
18 and up.
Don't do it.
If you're 18 and
Yeah.
up. Welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's Sean, Eric, and Jorge.
What's up, everybody?
Hey guys.
Tuesday's finest is back at it again. That's right. Tuesday morning's finest. So for today's episode, we have the Bermuda Triangle. I know it's used to be the hot topic. I think when we were in like elementary school.
It's like one of the OG conspiricies.
Oh yeah, it's like
No,
one
you're
of
right. You're right. It was the
Yeah.
original. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, not the original.
Yeah, no.
one of
One
the
of.
one of the
True,
one of the original. That's when people were really starting to be like, what the fuck's going on?
I feel like this is a '60s conspiracy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
don't go to the bear.
I think this is like
I don't know why I'm British.
Yeah.
I think it's before we really made travel super. It's like
Yeah.
we don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, flight, blah.
Yeah.
God damn it, it's gonna take me 4 hours to get across the globe.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
It was the time of Amelia Earhart, and she went down, and
No, people were like, is this
The
really
60s,
safe?
you know.
yeah.
I think that maybe it was like the auto industry was like planes and boats are not safe. Only cars are safe.
That's the conspiracy.
You know what? Maybe it is. Kind of get started with I guess, so to speak, the history of the Bermuda Triangle.
Okay.
So it's actually known as the Devil's Triangle. Kind of interesting. They were probably trying to make it sound more ominous. The Devil's Triangle.
Do you know why it was Bermuda? Like, why did they get the name? You
I
know what
know,
I mean?
right?
It was like
Actually-
Miami Triangle.
I brought a graphic. So pretty much the Bermuda Triangle is about a 500,000 square mile zone. It's in the western part of the North Atlantic. And so it pretty much touches, it's like from Miami to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and then to Bermuda.
Okay.
They probably use Bermuda because it just sounds the best.
Yeah.
So like
The Miami Triangle.
The Puerto Rico Triangle. It just probably has a good jingle. We were, on the OJ episodes, the
my
jingle.
Yeah.
Jingle.
Jingle's everything. Like
The Bermuda
it's catchy.
Triangle.
Once it catches,
What's that? What's
catches
that?
fire.
What's that reggae song?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Bahama, come on.
Oh, yeah.
It's
like
Bermuda in
it's
there?
like Bermuda.
Bermuda.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
I want to take it to
Bermuda.
Bahama. Come on,
Yeah.
pretty mama.
Okay, so
Key
it's like-
Largo, Montego.
That must be after.
Probably.
That song.
That's
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah. Okay.
And he knew the jingle was going to hit.
Yeah, I'm trying
so
to-
he's gonna slap.
There's your jingle right there.
I'm just trying to get my bearings. Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, yeah.
So obviously it's known because there were a number of aircrafts and ships that would disappear in mysterious circumstances, and people were like, what's happening here? So it really started to kind of arise in the 20th century, well, mid-20th century, in terms of it being like a thing.
Yeah.
But most reputable sources think it's bullshit. They're all like, it's explainable. It's not everything.
Yeah.
There's actually been reports of bizarre activity in that particular region leading back to the days of Christopher Columbus. There were reports of unusual compass activity traveling through that zone when they're going to the New World. For the Old World, motherfuckers live there already, so it's not really that new. But the triangle would later earn like a reputation as a dead zone for planes and ships, and there would just be a lot of weird disappearances.
So like all the controls would go funky and you can't find your way.
Weird things, and then the fact that a lot of these crashes they couldn't find like the wreckage or anything. It just literally vanish.
So essentially, the summary of what the Bermuda Triangle is that it's an area where just everybody crashes. Is that really what it is?
It's they call it's like a dead zone, an area where weird things would occur and people would disappear.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's kind of like it's kind of like anywhere where something bad happens.
Yeah.
Like, this place is fucking.
Yeah.
This is the devil's 7-Eleven.
That's what I thought when I was little. When I first started knowing about this, I'm like, oh, you go in there and you disappear into
done.
you
disappear into the void.
I think I had the same. Same concept, right?
I'm going the long way to Puerto Rico.
Like, it's not a black hole,
That's kind of what I
but
thought.
like a plane
when I was
just
little.
vaporizes.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Exactly.
You go into another world,
Another
like
dimension.
Stargate.
I know it is like Stargate, but it's the ocean.
Yeah.
The Star
Is
Ocean.
this where Epstein's Island is?
Probably.
I don't even know where it is.
It's actually in the statistical center of the Bermuda Triangle. That's where
Stay tuned for that episode.
next episode.
Oh my God, we have to do that.
We will.
We keep. Yeah.
We keep talking.
Yeah,
about
I
it.
know.
But it's still just it's so gross. So just ugh. So anyways, there's one of the biggest known stories in which really got people talking about it and really sparked the kind of like intrigue into it is what's called Flight 19. So in 1945, there was 5 U.S. Navy aircraft, and they were known as Flight 19. They were on like a training mission, kind of flying through the area.
This is World War II, right?
Yeah,
45?
Yeah, 45. So they were actually torpedo bombers. That's so it was 5 torpedo bombers that were on a training mission, and they got lost and they vanished into the triangle, and they've never found the people and they never found the planes. Wow. So there was 14 crew members, all were never found. They suspect that the pilots kind of ran out of fuel and crashed into the sea.
Sure,
but I'm like, if you're on a training mission, I think you
would check that.
You qualify for how much gas the plane, right?
Yeah. That's the first thing I would check.
Oh shit, we forgot to top off.
Like, hey guys, we're going on a training mission.
Especially 5 planes.
Yeah, let's
if it was
turn around.
if it was 1 plane, I'm like, okay, yeah,
5
It was
planes?
5 planes. 14. So there was
That can't be all of them going.
there's
running out of
14
gas.
crew members and 5 planes. Yeah,
That's what I'm
5
saying.
planes running out of
Maybe
gas?
I didn't
3,
catch
maybe
that.
2.
Maybe none.
Yeah.
Like what a shit. Who's in charge of this
5,
training
huh?
mission?
Wow.
Yeah, that's strange.
So that was like kind of the first thing. But 7 years later is when they finally started talking about it. They like waited a while. So there was a magazine called Fate magazine, which just, Fate magazine is actually, it's a U.S. magazine that talks about paranormal activity. So it's like, I wish it was.
Is this still around?
So if you want to sponsor us, just saying.
I looked, and the last like kind of note was like they started like releasing like one a month, but that was back in like 2012. So I don't know if they're still around or not.
Okay.
I should have did more digging, but I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Fate magazine. They probably had a business. So they published what they called the Sea Mystery at Our Back Door. That was the name of the short article by George Sand, and it covered the loss of the planes, as well as other planes and ships. So this is kind of the first time it really got brought to light, like, hey, something's happening here. And this is obviously in 1952.
Yeah.
So George Sand's article was pretty much the first to kind of lay out the triangle and actually kind of give the in essence the area, like, okay, here's where the losses took place, and that's where they kind of created the triangle from. And they were trying to suggest a supernatural element to it. Like,
I see.
It's like fucking
So
mysterious.
they created the term, maybe.
No,
Like, did
no,
they
they're
use the
not.
word triangle at all?
Nope.
No,
I will
it
get to
didn't.
that.
Okay.
I will get to that.
Okay, right on.
So then more people started covering it. So in 1962, an issue of the American Legion magazine, this guy named Alan Eckhart wrote that the flight leader had been heard saying, and I quote, "We are entering white water. Nothing seems right. We don't know where we are. The water is green. No, white." It's weird how that rhymes. And said he also wrote that officials at the Navy Board of Inquiry stated that the planes flew off to Mars. And that just seems like the weirdest thing I've ever heard. This guy was probably drunk on the job.
Yeah.
He was probably
Fucking drunken sailor.
He was like Babe Ruth. He was like,
Guy had me. He had me. I was hooked. And then Mars.
That's what he says. He says that officials at the Navy Board of Inquiry said that, but that sounds like bullshit.
Okay. Yeah.
I know that was real hot, and then
Yeah,
it was like,
ooh.
I know I thought the same thing. But why? Why do you gotta go that deep,
Yeah.
like idiots? So then, so that was in 62. So in 64, February 1964, a gentleman named Vincent Gaddis wrote an article called "The Deadly Bermuda Triangle." So
that guy.
this was in a pulp magazine, Argosy.
Pulp.
Pulp
Really?
magazine, Argosy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And then he said Flight 19 and other disappearances were part of a pattern of strange events in that region. So he was the first to actually coin the term Bermuda Triangle. So Vincent Gaddis gets credit for that one. So the next year, Gaddis expanded this article into a book, which he called Invisible Horizons, which is a great name for a book, by the way.
Yeah. That's
really
good.
sexy name.
This
for a
is the
book.
60s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we called it.
62. That's true.
That's
we
true.
called it. Yeah,
That's why.
it feels like a 60s.
That's why I didn't shit on your
Yeah, okay.
thing. 'Cause I was like, you're kind of right.
Okay, I like
you might
it.
be on something
Yeah.
here. There were other writers who started to kind of go on this like same vein as Gaddis, and they were like, yeah, this is a good idea. A guy named John Wallace Spencer wrote a book called Limbo of the Lost in 1969. Charles Berlitz wrote the book called The Bermuda Triangle in 74. Richard Weiner wrote The Devil's Triangle also in 74. And then there are many others. They're all kind of like, really these guys were mainly focused on the supernatural elements of the Bermuda Triangle.
And is it generally are those books generally based on this Army crew or Navy crew that
No,
the five
the
planes?
first ones that disappeared.
they're based on Flight 19 as well as other ones, and I'm actually going to start
okay.
getting into.
I see,
I'm starting
okay.
to start getting into others. Some of the more famous kind of incidents that's happened. Obviously, there's other shit, but these are the most well known ones. So in 1963, there was a tanker ship called the SS Marine Sulphur Queen. I don't know who names these fucking ships.
It's crazy.
Sulphur Queen.
I knew a stripper with that name. No, I didn't.
Fart on you. You know,
Can you
sulfur
imagine?
smells like a fart.
And coming to the stage is Sulphur Queen.
I gotta smoke a cig. I'll be back, boys.
She hasn't showered in a week.
So Sulphur Queen sank near Key West.
Okay.
So obviously kind of in that general area. Life preservers and other items were later discovered drifting in the water, but the exact cause of that disaster remains unknown. And the wreck itself has never been recovered. Yeah. Interesting how they found like life preservers. I guess they float, so I guess that makes sense. So another one is the HMS Atlanta. Well, Atalanta. It's not just Atlanta, it's Atalanta.
Atalanta.
Hotlanta. So it was a sail training ship. It was originally named the HMS Juno, but they named it to the Atalanta.
They didn't think Alaska's capital was worth it.
Nope. Yeah. They were like, fuck that. No one cares.
Juno.
Lame.
Juno.
Hate it. So that disappeared with its entire crew after setting sail from the Royal Naval Dockyard in Bermuda, and they were going to Falmouth, England. So on the 31st of January, 1880 is when they set sail. So they presumed it sank because there was a powerful storm that crossed the route that they were going on a couple weeks after they set sail. Because when you're doing sailing ships, shit takes forever.
Yeah.
Just like a lifetime to get anywhere.
Yeah, but didn't you say this one took off from Bermuda to England?
Yeah, Bermuda to England.
Yeah.
But isn't the triangle between Miami, Puerto Rico?
But if you were, say you were here, you're still kind of
you're still kind of
through
like
it
in
a
the
little bit.
triangle.
Yeah, you're kind of going that way.
It's also
Kind of. I think the triangle is more of a guideline.
and
not a right.
it gets it. That's a lot of the speculation is that, which I'll get into later.
Okay.
But a lot of the people think that some of these occurrences didn't happen in the quote unquote triangle.
Yeah, like
Which
maybe,
is why they're just kind of. It started in Bermuda, bitch.
Yeah.
The triangle followed them. It's in motion. The triangle's like a UFO. It just
in
Take
reality,
off in like 5 minutes. It sunk. Like, what the fuck?
And
in reality, it's probably like an octagon. or something, some obelisk. It doesn't have to be a triangle.
The Bermuda rhombus.
Yes.
I also think it's just a thing that people think is
Yeah.
a thing. It's not like there's an exact. Shit only happens in these exact parameters. So
It's almost like another exercise of a writer created it.
of course,
You know what I mean? Like they created the triangle, they created the name.
True.
and they're also just using three random points, and they're just like, ooh,
Yeah.
It
Like,
just sounds
does
good.
it really stop there?
Bermuda,
like if we went there, they're like, what the fuck is this triangle? The point. I'm at the point. Yeah.
I think it's just like a hot vibe
Yeah.
to it. They're
Yeah.
like, ooh,
Yeah.
Bermuda Triangle. Like I like Bermuda.
Yeah.
Ooh, triangles
catch
are
a little
easy.
jingle.
I mean, do you think triangles are scarier than squares?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Squares are equilateral.
They're boring.
They're even
Yeah.
numbers. People hate odd numbers.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm so
Wait, aren't
honest.
those equilateral?
Not necessarily. A triangle doesn't have to be equilateral.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
That one is.
That one looks like it is.
And very specific. So don't throw me off with your fucking England shit.
Well, technically, all squares have to be equilateral. Otherwise, it becomes a rectangle.
Oh god, this just got so boring.
turn it into a math class here. Fucking geometry class.
Oh, sorry. I fucking was paying attention in 5th grade. You fucking cuck.
Dude, I did geometry 1 in high school. Did you do geometry? Hey guys, hope we're enjoying the show so far. We wanted to take a break and just remind you of the different ways that you can support our podcast. The first and foremost is you can subscribe by clicking the follow button on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts. It's on the show page. It's really easy. You just click it and subscribe. What this does is it makes it so you get notified every new release that comes out. Another way is by simply following us on social media. This is Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. But one of the best ways that you can support our podcast is to help us grow. And how do you do that? You can share the show with friends and family. Okay, thanks a bunch, everybody. Now back to the show.
At
You don't
some point.
even-
At some point.
Do they have geometry in Mexico? I'm sorry. That was not meant to be racist.
Skibbity-doop, skibbity-doop, skibbity-doop.
They thought that it sank because there was like a powerful storm. Like I said, they crossed like their path. The crew itself was actually composed of a bunch of trainees because it was a training ship. So it was like a bunch of noobs.
Yeah.
So you had a bunch of guys who don't really know what they're doing on a ship, and then you have a storm. So that's when that makes sense.
Yeah.
That could have happened. So they tried to search for evidence and see what happened, and it actually got worldwide attention at that time.
Okay.
1880. So that's like hot news. Woo!
Yeah.
Look at the telegram. It's coming through.
Breaking news.
Yes. December 7th. No.
1880. Decades later, they look into it and they're like, oh, it's a victim of the mysterious triangle. And
I see. They chalk it up.
yeah, they just had to
Chalk it up.
they had to put it to something. Actually, the biggest loss of life in history of the U.S. Navy
Okay.
was this next one. The USS Cyclops.
Okay.
This was the biggest loss in the U.S. Navy, not related to combat. Sorry,
Okay.
to
So
preface
like
that.
accidental.
Not related to combat. It just
Yeah.
happened.
Bad seamanship.
There was this USS Cyclops that was carrying a full load of manganese ore.
I don't know what that means.
Manganese is a metal. It's a type of metal.
It's like magnesium ore.
No,
That's what that's what it sounds like.
no, it's manganese.
Oh, manganese.
It's manganese.
Never heard that word. Have you heard that word?
No.
It's
Never heard
an
that?
element.
Yeah, okay. All
Yeah.
right, all right.
Jesus.
Weren't you
Look
just
it up.
don't know.
Weren't you
I
paying
don't know.
attention in high school?
To manganese?
No,
Come
I'm
on.
I went to school to be a chemist. That's the only reason I know this.
Okay.
So, I'll actually
Trying to
pull it
show
up.
off.
Dude,
I'm not trying to show
I'm
it
gonna
at
make
all.
Sean look good this episode. Sean's gonna look hella good.
So,
So we got a chemist and we got
was
Eagle
good.
Scout.
Yeah.
And what else? Like,
here.
Just I dropped
gonna-
out of baseball. I don't know.
I'm gonna drop out of baseball like as a college. Like, I dropped out of baseball.
I did T-ball, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So manganese. Manganese is a chemical element with the symbol Mn and atomic number 25. It is a hard, brittle, silvery metal often found in minerals in combination with iron. Manganese is a transition metal with a multifaceted array of industrial alloy uses, so particularly stainless steels. So you use it
Okay.
and you
like-
alloy it with other steels and it makes stainless steel.
Frigidaires.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Thank you for that. That's exactly. They're like,
Yeah. Okay, good. We cleared that up.
so they had a full load of that, but they actually had an engine out of action, so they're operating with like one engine down. So it had a crew of 309 dudes, And it went missing without a trace after March 4th, 1918, after it departed from Barbados, an island of Barbados. So there's really no strong evidence, in essence, to any single theory on like what happened.
Because nobody survived. There's nobody to tell the tale.
Yeah, so people just started making their own independent shit. They're like, oh, I think what's happened. Some people blame storms. Some thought it might have capsized. Some suggested there was a wartime enemy activity in the area, and they got fucking shot. Like even though they weren't.
1918 is the World War One going on?
I think it was around World War One time.
Yeah.
So
No idea.
or it's like
Somewhere around that time.
it's interesting. Like another just like little tidbit. Like the Cyclops had two sister ships, the Proteus and the Nereus. They were both actually lost in the North Atlantic during World War II, and they were both transporting heavy loads of metallic ore, similar to this one. So it's interesting. All these ships,
They just went down.
they all get down.
But the other ones also went down in the same area? Or
no, I just think it was
That's
just like
more
it was like a note.
Yeah, it's important to note
It's
all the
interesting.
sisters
All
went down.
three of these ships, they were all sister ships, all went down. They're all carrying metal ore. It's weird.
And we didn't have stainless steel fridges for another 50 years.
Yeah, it's true. I don't even know what to say to that. Thank you for that. I think Frigidaire is out of business now.
It set us back.
Big time. I think that's when the Great Depression happened. The Frigidaire business that tanked the fucking stock market.
I don't even think they had
single-handedly crashed the stock market.
We're out of manganese. Damn it. Like, fuck.
Another manganese ship goes down. Shit.
Damn it.
Fucking stock market crash.
I know. I should have shorted manganese.
I don't even think in 1918. I don't even think they had fridges in homes.
I think they did.
Sounds like they.
Sounds like a bet.
Sounds
What do we
I
bet?
bet they had fridges, but in homes.
Oh, baby. Oh,
homes.
I think I got you on a technicality here.
Oh.
Mass production of domestic fridges began in 1918.
Oh.
Got him. So when William C. Durant introduced the first home refrigerator with a self-contained compressor, but they were still considered a luxury item because of their price.
I'm gonna give
So
that
like
to
only
you.
the
I'm gonna give that to
1%ers.
you. I mean, if it said 1919,
And that
I would have ran with it.
You would have
Yeah,
got it.
yeah, all right.
All right, so the next kind of big one is that there's actually two planes. So the Star Tiger and the Star Ariel. So the Star Tiger, it's a passenger aircraft. It disappeared on January 30th, 1948. It was on a flight from Azores to Bermuda. So at least this time it's coming into the triangle and not leaving the triangle. Now the Star Ariel is another passenger ship. It disappeared on January 17th, 1949, which is weird. It's almost exactly a year later. And it was on a flight from Bermuda to Kingston, Jamaica. So both were Avro Tudor 4 passenger aircrafts, and they were operated by British South American Airways. And both planes were operating at the very limits of their range, so they could just I can just make it there.
Yeah,
pushing
the
it.
pilot's like, I can make it.
And I think they say that is because that pretty much there was room for error. You make one mistake and you're like fuck, I can't make it.
Yeah.
But the fact is they both disappeared, so they didn't find their.
Yeah, but they were pushing it to the limits. Like, no, I had a friend that he was a pilot. He took up a Cessna. He was going to Haiti, I think. Anyways, same thing. He pushed it to the limits, but they fucking crashed right here. They didn't even hit it.
You know a guy who crashed really?
Yeah,
Did he
it was
survive?
Yeah, he did. He broke his back, but he survived.
Oh man, you sound a little disappointed that he survived. You're like, damn it.
Yeah. So
a horrible
it's
story.
no joke.
Yeah.
When you push it to the limit,
It's not the Bermuda Triangles of limits.
it's a Bermuda gas tank.
What was the limit though? Like, what is that?
In terms of like range, like the
gas?
Yeah.
I think they were saying
both planes were
you were-
operating at the very limits of their range.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I
you
thought
have
you
a
were saying
limit
like maybe
gas
they had too
and
many people,
things.
too many.
Yeah, it's a gas, weight,
That's right.
all this shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think they bring that up just because, hey, they could have crashed.
Yeah, that's not the Bermuda Triangle fault.
Yeah.
Or is it?
Is his back fine?
That's what they want you to think. How did they know what their range was?
What'd you say?
Is his back fine?
Now he's asking about your.
Oh, he's pretty fucked up still.
Sorry, man.
Hey, shout out.
Shout out to the
Sort of
guy.
like a-
Shout out to the back brace.
go.
It's a bummer.
So the next one is called Douglas DC-3, and the reason I have these weird names, this is the call signs of these aircrafts.
Yeah.
So on December 28, 1948, Douglas DC-3 aircraft disappeared while on a flight from San Juan, Puerto Rico to Miami. So this motherfucker's like, dead.
wow.
He's like triangle to triangle. He's going point to point.
Point to point.
Yeah.
It's literally like San Juan to Miami is like 2 points of the triangle. So yeah, there was no trace of the aircraft. There were 32 people on board.
What?
And it was never found.
How is that possible?
I don't know, dude. A Civil Aeronautics Board investigation found there was insufficient information available.
Did they not
to
have
determine
the fucking,
probable cause?
what's that called? The black box and all that
No,
shit back then?
But the black box, you need to recover the black box. The black box records all the data, but you need to have it.
But doesn't it have like a GPS to it and shit?
Well,
or no?
I think nowadays.
Now, yeah.
I mean, that was in 1948. They,
Oh,
yeah.
they didn't have like fucking Bluetooth or
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
They were like, man, they got DC-3 coming in hot. Like,
He'll be fine.
anybody on there? Anybody on the landing pad here?
If anything, the black box then was just like a picture of the pilot's wife. You know what I mean? Like a chain.
The black wallet.
Yeah.
He had it like up on like the thing.
Some beads.
The KC-135 Stratotankers. These names are hilarious. So August 28th, 1963, there was a pair of U.S. Air Force KC-135 Stratotanker aircraft. They actually collided, and they crashed. They collided midair. This was 300 miles west of Bermuda where this happened. So some of the writers say that the two aircraft collided, and then there was two distinct crash sites, and they were separated by 160 miles. So that means you're flying for a while.
Jeez.
That's
It's just crazy. But research showed, like the Air Force investigation, the unclassified version of this investigation, revealed that the debris field defining the second crash site was examined by search and rescue ship and found that there was actually a massive seaweed in driftwood. It wasn't actually a crash site. So they got fucked up. They made a little mistakey. And my bad. And an old tangled buoy that was trapped in there. So I thought that was a crash site. So there's that one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so those are for these really kind of the main ones. There's obviously a lot more
like the famous ones, or
yeah,
the
these are the
most-
ones that were talked about most. Cause there was like investigations done. There's like there was
and so none of these got found, right?
no,
None of them. Yeah.
no, none of. Well, it looks like there was one crash site. One of the two of the planes they found one crash site, but the second crash site was actually
Yeah.
seaweed.
Yeah.
They were like, "That's a plane." So yeah, those are the main kind of ones that are kind of talked about. So there is a lot of criticism, just so you know, on the triangle.
Yeah.
So the guy named Larry Cush, great name. He was the author of the book, The Bermuda Triangle Mystery Solved. And this is in 1975. So he argued that many of the claims, and this is getting into what we talked about earlier. So many of the claims by Gaddis is the guy who coined the term, and subsequent writers were exaggerated, dubious, or unverifiable. Cush's research revealed a number of inaccuracies and consistencies with like their accounts and their statements. So these are statements from like eyewitnesses, participants that were involved in the investigations and all this other shit. So he would do very basic research, like real simple shit. He would review the newspapers. He'd look at the dates of the reported incidents, and he'd find like reports that he could find, and he would look at relative events like the weather. What was the weather like in the area that they were flying?
It was like a hurricane.
Yeah, exactly. Like real basic ass shit. And a lot of these things that he found weren't actually mentioned when the disappearances were talked about. They were just, it disappeared. They didn't mention if there was like inclement weather or there was other shit. So he concluded, and this is his conclusion. I just wanted to give this because this obviously you can't. I have to give both sides of the coin.
Sure. Yeah.
So he concluded a couple things. Firstly, the number of the ships and aircraft reported missing in the area was either not significantly greater or proportionally, meaning they're kind of exaggerating how many ships actually went down in that area, other than like the rest of the ocean.
Right.
Like
Like it's not out of the normal. Yeah.
even like we were talking about the one that flew out of Bermuda to like England, which is out of the triangle.
Yeah. It went down near Rhode Island. But we're going to call
Triangle.
It's in the triangle.
It's in the triangle.
It's in the obelisk.
So also, in an area frequented by tropical cyclones and like all this other shit.
It's a storm central, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that spot?
Yeah, that's where all the storms pass through.
It's a hot area for that kind of shit. And so with that kind of activity that's happening in there, it's not really mysterious why shit goes down.
Yeah.
So that was one of his points. Yeah. Otherwise, Berlitz and other writers would often fail to mention these things. So he was saying that would contradict what they were saying.
Right.
They would say sometimes they would actually say it was in calm conditions when it wasn't. So he's like, okay, they're trying to grandize this, like make it like super sell books.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, the numbers themselves had been exaggerated just due to sloppy research. For example, you have a boat disappearance, it'd be reported, but they eventually found it at the port. But they would,
they wouldn't
But they
report
would
that
only
part.
it's disappeared, and like the guys come in like, oh shit, that was wild. They're like, never happened.
Yeah. No, this is the USS Juno.
Yeah, like we're the Juno, bro. Like the
This is Juno.
Cyclops.
We're not the. Yeah.
And then the other thing is some disappearances actually never happened. He said one plane crash was said to have taken place in 1937 off Daytona Beach, and in front of 100 witnesses. And he's saying,
It's not even in the triangle. By
he's
the way.
saying that I know. It was like they're just giving like it's
like,
close.
It's close.
It's in Florida.
Yeah. It's like right
Close.
there.
It's like right
It's
there.
right here. Yeah.
It's on the
like,
outside.
I know where Daytona is.
Do you, Jorge? Peasant.
Can't go to Daytona.
And then so his last thing is that he believes that the Bermuda Triangle is just a manufactured mystery.
I see. Yeah.
Pretty much this perpetuated by writers to, purposely kind of sensationalize a thing.
Create a mystery.
Yeah, they wanted to
a-
create something to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I can understand.
Yeah.
That shit
They're
sells.
basically hustling.
Have
your
you ever
books.
watched the news? It's like,
yeah.
oh, fucking asteroid hit the thing. It's like they just want you to get
Sensationalize
It's
and
clickbait,
fucking-
baby.
Yeah. They
So
gotta sell.
there are various other outlets that also disagree. Other researchers, the Coast Guard, other people are like, this is
Somewhat credible.
So the various theories as to what is occurring, and please God,
I'm into it.
I don't believe these.
I'm into it.
What?
Keep going. Let's go.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
you're
want,
not into it.
I don't want people to think that this is like me.
Oh, yeah, I
Like,
get it.
I just want to
I get it.
fucking disclosure
This is just what's out
agreement.
there.
I know.
These are just
I know.
shit that I found.
We do run into that problem a lot.
I know. It's got
yeah.
flat Earth. I never had so many people hate us. I'm like, we're just talking about it.
Listen to the whole episode. They just see
saw
like they just
one
see a clip
clip.
on social media.
I know.
It's
did
great.
work
It's
that
a great
out.
clip though. Anyways, so the first is Atlantis.
No way.
So let me get
Really?
into it. So one of the big
I'm
explanations.
sold. You don't even have to tell me anything. I'm in. I love it. I'm in. I want it. I'm there.
I'm a believer.
Let's go.
So they think it's just leftover technology from the lost continent of Atlantis. So let's hear me out.
You had me until technology, but anyways, keep going.
Dude, that's when we get it when we do the Atlantis episode.
You have me now.
No, when we do the Atlantis episode, that was a thing that Atlantis was a super advanced civilization.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
There was
is. Whoa, man, Jorge coming in hot. Wowzers.
Goddamn Jason Momoa. Momoa
Dude,
did it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Man, Jorge is the epitome of conspiracy. So the reason people connect it to this is because of a rock formation that's known as Bimini Road.
Okay.
It's also or Bimini Wall. They call it two different things. So
Yeah.
what that is, so Bimini Road is an underwater rock formation. It's near North Bimini Island, which is in the Bahamas. The road is approximately like 0.8 kilometers, which is like half a mile long.
Yeah.
And it's linear. It's a line. So it's
Yeah.
like a road. And it's composed of rough rectangular limestone blocks. It looks like it's underwater, and it looks like a road. It looks like a
Man-made. Or Atlantis-made.
That's the thing.
Or-
The thing is that it actually appears the fact that it's that long and it's in a line and it appears to be man-made.
Yeah.
So people are, that's remnants of Atlantis before it went underwater. So that's why it's in the area. So people are like, it's leftover technology from Atlantis. There's also other people, and this is where it gets super ridiculous. So followers of the purported psychic Edgar Cayce take his prediction that evidence of Atlantis would be found in 1968. And this is referring to the discovery of Bimini Road in 1968.
Okay. Yeah.
Since that, other people like kind of pile onto this. Oh, yeah. Because people did think that Atlantis was a very technologically advanced civilization and that had like crystal energy and shit.
Yeah.
Like we'll do Atlantis. And there's this whole thing about this. So they think that it's still active in the seafloor, which may cause mechanical interference and malfunctions with the ships and the planes, and that's why they go down.
Okay. So it would be like our civilization now disappearing, but our cell towers are still up
Similar.
and running.
Yeah.
And so then
Yeah, and they're
You're
like,
oh, what is this? And then it's like towers.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's.
I mean, not that technology.
yeah, it would
But
be. It'd be a.
technology we've created.
Yeah, but they would have to be the cavemen. Like, who the gods? What the fuck is this? Who built the pyramids? Why does my stick keep breaking on it? How is it so hard?
The idea is that we're so far back.
Yeah,
the
they're
Atlanteans.
far more advanced than us. That's the concept.
Yeah. So first off, let's start it out. Do you believe Atlantis exists?
I believe it did exist at one point. 100%.
Both?
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally believe Atlantis exists. I'm not saying I'm not saying Atlantis is the cause.
No, I know
of this.
of the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah,
but I figure if we start there, then we go, okay, is this a plausible thing?
I believe Atlantis was a place.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't believe it was fucking called Atlantis.
You
I
asked
think
if
You
it
believe-
exists. As
Yeah.
in, okay.
Yeah, well,
I
let's
guess,
start
I guess
there
it's down there.
because
sure.
that's the theory
Anyways,
is
yes.
that
I
it's
think it is.
Atlantis leftover technology, right?
And you want to know why? I think because two points. There's all these weird monolithic structures underwater. Yeah. How the fuck did this get here?
Yeah.
It's not like an accident. There's a giant statue down there. Like, oh, how did that get down there? So the other thing is, like, you realize that the most unexplored region on Earth, we've only explored
is water
is the ocean. We've explored less than 1% of the ocean.
Yeah.
It's so vast. Why couldn't it be down there?
Yeah. Okay.
It's like statistical probability.
Yeah. So you're going with the okay.
So you're totally the opposite?
No, actually,
Eric's like fish aren't
no,
real.
actually,
Tuna is actually manufactured in a plant. There's no such thing as an actual tuna.
no, actually, I would almost agree with you.
Oh my god! Let me get this on the record.
I would almost agree with you.
Say
I
it-
wouldn't.
say it
I
again.
wouldn't.
Say it
No,
now.
I wouldn't say it's got technology that we don't know about, but I would agree with you that it's
It
a
was
probable
a probable place that might have existed.
that existed and that's no longer here.
But you also,
And
you
there's-
also don't agree with us on the pyramids. So
Well, there
it's
is
no surprise.
No, there is actual proof of there being massive 17,000 years ago, massive flood.
Yeah.
There was
Right.
actual
Yeah.
like proof that
yeah.
that happened.
Yeah.
So it's
That plus, that's a section we were talking about. All the storms go through there. It's possible some big thing came by and like
they were doing weather like back then. They're like, fuck yeah, get the crops, baby.
All right, I just
Aliens.
I just wanted to see where you guys were at on the
On the Atlantis.
Atlantis
On the
part.
Atlanteans.
because then we can actually go, oh, is that plausible?
Oh, I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because
So
if
we're
we all
all
don't
like,
believe
fuck
it,
no,
fuck Atlantis, then
it's
obviously
like,
that doesn't work,
We're
right?
cross that one off the
All
list.
right.
All right, so next, a wormhole. So
First of all, are you going to talk about what is a wormhole just in case everybody listening?
all right, so a wormhole. There's
Including
many,
myself.
There's many people. There's different.
Everybody listening, not me.
People have different concepts of what a wormhole is. So some people believe a wormhole is like a hole in the fabric of space time where you can actually travel to a different place instantly. Okay. So when you think
like Stargate.
exactly like a Stargate.
Kurt Russ?
Oh yeah, obviously. Duh.
Not the SG one.
No, the Orig. When he had the buzz cut. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Hella high
it was
flat
like,
top.
It was like
Yeah.
flat. It was like level.
Yeah. He looked like Guile.
Yeah.
Street Fighter,
Like
yeah.
with the up kick with the lightning bolt.
Yeah. All right.
No, so some people believe that that's what a wormhole is. So
So
if
when
you
you-
actually fold the fabric space like
Yeah.
that, you travel.
Yeah. Hey guys, hope we're enjoying the show so far. We wanted to take a break and just remind you of the different ways that you can support our podcast. The first and foremost is you can subscribe by clicking the follow button on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts. It's on the show page. It's really easy. You just click it and subscribe. What this does is it makes it so you get notified every new release that comes out. Another way is by simply following us on social media. This is Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. But one of the best ways that you can support our podcast is to help us grow. And how do you do that? You can share the show with friends and family. Okay, thanks a bunch, everybody. Now back to the show.
Because obviously when you think about
So you step through and you're some other part of
you're in a different part
galaxy.
a different part of the
I
universe.
learned this from Chris Nolan. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Christopher Nolan. the foremost
buddy.
expert on
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No, because the reason people believe that is because obviously, the universe is very vast and, we're stupid humans and we're the speed of light is the fastest travel in the universe, which is a lie because it's super slow in terms of the Milky Way galaxy alone is 100. It's like 100 million light years wide.
Right.
And this is like it would
And
take
that's
you.
just the Milky Way.
That's just the Milky Way, and there's tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands.
But
of
you kept saying
Unlimited.
people believe. So this is not it like a decided thing that does exist.
No, we don't know because no one knows
Okay.
what people like. It's a theory. A wormhole
it's a
is a
theory.
theory. Some
It's a
people
theory.
think a wormhole is a portal to a different an alternate reality, different dimension. So we don't
So it's
know.
in the realm of theory.
Yeah, it's
compared
like
to-
like you were saying, Christopher Nolan. In
Interstellar?
he goes to the wormhole, but it's a black hole, and some people believe that black holes are wormholes.
Gotcha.
Right.
And so he goes to the black hole and he goes to the fourth dimension, but he ends up literally communicating himself, but he comes back out and he's just like, he comes back out and he's by Earth again.
Yeah. So you have no idea.
So that took him to a different dimension and shit him out somewhere else.
Yeah, it's all theatrical elaboration too.
Yeah, there's no one knows.
Yeah, like he's just
it's not
what his
it's not
thought is.
statistically
But black holes
proven.
are
Black holes
thing.
exist.
Yeah.
We just don't know
But
what they
and
are.
we haven't
Right.
been inside it.
No.
To be like, this is what's happening.
We have no idea
Yeah.
what it does or
right.
why it exists or how it's possible.
Okay.
So yeah.
So that was a crash course in what
wormholes.
are.
Yeah, in theoretical
Yes.
physics. It's literally like, it's a theory.
Nice.
So people believe that, well, not believe, but hypothesize, I guess, that the Bermuda Triangle is a region that is a warp in space-time. So you literally go in there and you actually go into a parallel universe.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of these things, there's nothing found. They think it's like lost.
The whole area.
or some part of that
And it
area.
just takes you somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great
So,
movie
like-
script idea.
Yeah, you just go into a parallel universe.
So here's the movie script idea: is you go into the Bermuda Triangle and you come out on the other side, and it's just
And
all
you're-
these people
you're
who
in
crashed.
Atlantis.
Yeah, no, and it's just somewhere else, and there's all these people
they're all just
living.
trapped, and like,
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. Hey,
lost.
man, you made it.
Oh, like, oh, thank
Yeah.
God.
Oh, don't close the door. No.
Close the door. No.
Okay.
So there was a pilot. His name was Bruce Groening. So he gave his account. He experienced something going through the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
He says, I didn't believe in time travel or teleportation until it happened to me. So he said that he alleges that a fog surrounded his craft and he leaped ahead 100 miles. And he says he documented what happened and he memorized every detail of this flight.
Does it say what year it is?
So he published a book. He published a book in 2017.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is recent.
Yeah, so that's when he published the book. I don't know exactly when it happened, but that's when he published the
Okay.
book.
Yeah.
So people believe that that's how things disappear.
Gotcha.
But obviously, the ocean's vast. It's look how hard it was for us to find the Titanic. Jesus Christ. Like, God damn.
70 years. or
I
something,
know,
60
God.
years, yeah.
The next one is aliens.
My favorite.
So some say. So some people say that aliens use the Bermuda Triangle as a portal. So that's how they get to and from.
trap.
Yeah,
Ish.
it's a portal like from their
Oh,
from their planet. So
oh,
that's how they
oh,
get here.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they were like, this is a perfect spot to put the portal. Trust me. Not like in space, but
like
just
they're-
like above the Atlantic
Yeah, it's
Ocean.
like, it's like their airport terminal.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like Concourse B.
Yeah. Now arriving Earth, Bermuda.
Yeah. Please mind the gap.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
So that's how that people think that that's how they conduct their research on the human race. Is they come here and they trap people there
There's
and they
their
do
door
experiments.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and this would explain why, some of the ships aren't recovered. So I just
I see.
It's
Because
really
they disappeared and they went through that door, quote unquote.
it's super loose. I just feel like someone was, well, this is the only way it could be.
Yeah.
The only explanation.
Yeah.
Aliens.
I mean, that USS Cyclone went down. Aliens, brother. So yeah, so that's the
main ones.
That's the main paranormal ones.
Okay.
There's a lot of other natural explanations. So
Okay.
there's magnetics, so compass variations. A lot of the things cited in the Bermuda Triangle is to do with like compass problems. So the magnetic field is like fucking with the compasses.
Yeah.
So there are magnetic anomalies that we have that are known about in the U.S. and in the world, but they haven't really found any sort of magnetic anomalies in that area. They have done tests and they've tried, but obviously,
But other areas they have.
yeah, there's a place that it's between. It's like a line. There's a line that's from, I think it's from somewhere in Arizona, and down into the ocean, and it's a weird magnetic anomaly that it
screws your compass up.
It screws compasses up because true north and magnetic north are almost the exact same thing. Yeah. But there are magnetic anomalies.
But they didn't really find anything in this area.
No, but obviously it's a 500,000 square mile area, so it's not like they can do everything, but they have tried to do tests and they haven't found anything.
500,000.
And it is known, there's even the magnetic poles. Like the magnetic poles actually do have natural magnetic variations that fuck with compasses and stuff.
Yeah.
So people think that could be a reason why magnetic causes issues with the electronics and shit goes down. Yeah. The next is like an explanation would be the Gulf Stream, which is the Gulf Stream is the main current that goes.
This I feel has a lot of weight.
It does. Right?
Yeah.
So, in case you don't know, pretty much the Gulf Stream it's just a major surface current. In essence, imagine like a river in the ocean. Right. So it's an actual river. I mean, it moves at about 2 meters a second.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fast.
Yeah.
So they're saying that can, in essence, if a small plane crashes, a small plane crashes, it's just a normal crash, and it could just suck it away. It just sucks it with the current and just suck it away.
So part of that idea too would be say we're on a plane and we're doing Mayday, we give our coordinates.
Oh, and you hit the current,
and you hit it,
sucks
and
you
then
away.
you go 50 miles south all of a sudden in an hour.
Yeah, and you're like, oh,
and so the coordinates
you're
screwed up.
fucked.
And they're like, we can't find it. We can't find it.
Yeah, so they disappeared.
Yeah, so that's why
they keep moving. So by the time the party even gets out there, it's like,
I mean, so that is a very plausible explanation. The next is just a really great one: human error. It's they fucked up. They crashed, and they're So, I mean, that kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah,
you're
that falls into the simplest explanation is usually
the correct one. They were drunk while they were driving the boat, and they crashed.
Although the first one is suspect to me.
The magnetic.
No, the 5 planes.
I know that they all ran out of gas.
All of them.
And they're Navy, so they're really diligent about their shit.
I understand one.
And it was in wartime. It was fucking World War II.
I even understand 2. I understand 2 of the planes.
But 5 is a lot.
5?
That's the one that really, that's why I was like, ooh.
The only thing I can think of is that they were shot down.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, this was amidst World War II. So
and so then the enemies are not going to be like, hey guys,
oh shit, your planes are down.
Yeah,
send help.
Yeah. Here are the coordinates.
So the next one, which is another very plausible one, is this violent weather. So obviously, hurricanes.
Yep.
Hurricanes
all the time,
tropical cyclones, like that, and especially in this area.
Yeah,
if you live in this area, this shit gets pounded all the time. Yeah. If you ever watched
hurricane season just started this week or something like that. We're getting all kinds of storms.
If you could see, our videos are down for this one, but if you could see this pictorial, almost every hurricane you've ever seen, if you watch the news when it's happened. It literally, you watch the giant spiral roll right through this fucking area every goddamn time. Yep. It goes right through this area.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll put a picture of it on the website so you guys can see.
Yeah, so we're in Florida, and so we deal a lot in hurricanes, tropical storms. Exactly what Sean's talking about, which is we know
it goes right through there.
This shit is all up in here, and then it's coming up the coast,
and then it goes up, and then it goes up and out.
Yeah, and it goes up in there to South Carolina, or it goes this way, and then it hits our side.
Then it hits like Louisiana and Texas, and
exactly. So it's all right there. All the action is there.
It's like the center. It's where they all hit. So that it makes a lot of sense. And also, there's an interesting phenomena that will happen. There's this ship that got sunk called the Pride of Baltimore. And this is in 1986.
Rad name.
And so pretty much what'll happen is like a downdraft of cold air happens. So cold air fucking comes down. And so literally it shifted the velocity. Like when this happened, it shifted the velocity from 20 miles an hour to 60 to 90 miles an hour, like instantly.
Wow.
Just because it comes in and some shit happens and like the wind just goes like bananas.
And have you guys been in 90 mile an hour?
Dude, I have. Yeah. It's fucking, it's crazy.
Insane.
It's wild.
It's insane. I was walking the streets in the Tampa Bay area of Hurricane Irma.
Oh yeah.
And when it really hit, or the center was here,
got up to
we only got about to 70.
Yeah,
like mid. But I'm not even kidding. I was walking, and you get an elevation in your step.
A little lift.
Yeah, you get
a little pop.
Yeah, you get like a foot, like not a foot, but like a half foot little boost.
That's
from
fly.
the strength of the wind. And
Well, I mean,
at 90.
Well, have you ever put your hand out the window going 90 miles an hour?
Oh.
Your shit gets slammed back.
Yeah, yeah.
But imagine like, your whole body just
Yeah,
getting
so-
hit by that.
Yeah.
So it's no joke. A lot of stuff can happen when you're out there, especially if you're flying a plane through a tropical storm. You can't see. The wind is just constantly changing. So
Yeah.
it's a big proponent, especially in this area. If this was like somewhere else, I would be like, bullshit.
No, I mean I actually, after listening to all this, it's kind of like Tornado Alley.
Oh, dude, it's
What's Tornado Alley?
Oklahoma and
okay.
Iowa.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
They just
blah, blah, blah.
constantly just get shit on every year. Like,
And it's just
Yeah.
tornadoes, and
Yeah.
it's an alley of tornadoes that just come in and come in and come in.
So, like, if
There's-
planes were going down there all the time, you're like,
Yeah,
tornado.
yeah, so-
Aliens.
Yeah,
aliens, 100% aliens.
Atlantis is buried under Boise.
I know there's pyramids under there somewhere.
Atlantis didn't go underwater; it went under rock.
Yes.
The last one is a really interesting one because it's an actual phenomenon. It's called methane hydrates. So, pretty much, methane hydrates is a form of natural gas, and so they have found large fields of these methane hydrates, like on the continental shelf. So, in case you don't know, the way the Earth is made up of tectonic plates,
Yeah.
and they're constantly shifting. That's why the continents are. There was Pangea, and then it shifted. So they'll shift. They'll release these massive pockets of natural gas
From basically the core of Earth.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Essentially, yeah.
They'll just be massive, like huge,
massive
pockets, like-
Earth fart.
Yeah, but an Earth fart that can like blow up like a nuclear
Yeah,
bomb.
Yeah.
So pretty much, these pockets get on Earth, and what happens? So it'll be a giant bubble of this like natural gas, and what it does is it decreases the density of the water.
Gotcha.
So
So
when
this
you-
is under the ocean.
This is under
so
the
it's
ocean.
not even.
So when you have, like, imagine you have this massive pocket that covers like 10 miles. This pocket of gas. So the gas comes up. Obviously, the gas is going to rise. It literally will change the density of the water, and your ship will just sink. You just
sucks down?
literally just and like you just fall into the water.
Wow.
It's like
Wow,
so they've done tests, and they'll do to scale. They're not
Yeah.
going to test it on a real ship, but like
Yeah.
they'll do these things to like in a lab, and they manipulate it, and literally you can instantly sync a scale model of a ship, and it just drops. It just just imagine you're like sailing along, and you're underwater like instantly.
Damn.
That's insane.
Yeah, because it'll just take.
That sounds like a nightmare.
You're like, oh man, this
You know what I
cruise
mean?
is
All of
awesome.
a sudden, you're like, you're chilling. All of a sudden, you're fucking
Sounds
drowning.
insane.
and you're like, pop another bottle of prosecco, baby. Like fucking underwater.
Dude, if you made a movie about that, nobody would even believe it.
no,
Being sucked by Earth on a boat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They would just be like, no, it's not even plausible.
so there have been like a lot of studies, publications done on these hydrates because there are a lot of large stores that are all over the world, including there's a place called the Black Ridge area, which is off the southeastern United States, but they did searches and they said technically there hasn't been any large releases of gas hydrates in the Bermuda Triangle for the past 15,000 years. That's just it's
Okay.
a theory. They don't
I
know
gotcha.
for a fact, but they're based on what
possible, but-
based on what we've looked at, there hasn't been anything
One in
like
a
that
long
in a
time.
long time.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the last kind of main and sort of like natural
Theory.
explanation
Yeah.
for it.
Okay.
And that's why when I was doing this, I was kind of because I'm usually like the conspiracy god, and I'm always going for the conspiracies almost every time. Mm-hmm. Man, there's a lot of real basic common sense natural shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't bring the manganese ship in a hurricane, bro. Like,
I feel like after 30 episodes, I finally have Sean.
Like
Right
being-
where you-
being-
right where
he's,
you want
being, he's getting all logical, and he's getting
like-
basic concepts. Yes.
Instead, I was like, never. Everything's fucking. My life is a conspiracy.
Episode 1, he was like,
I was on the far right wing conspiracy. Now I'm going like, meh. I mean, with this one specifically, I just think that
I
they're-
know, yeah.
just based on its geographical location, it's a lot of hurricanes hit there,
tons.
and
Every year.
every year.
Every year.
And I totally believe it's totally
Several
possible.
hurricanes and tropical storms every year.
It's totally possible for there to be some weird magnetic anomaly where it's like,
Sure.
oh shit,
Sure.
my systems went a little haywire because obviously everything is electronic. You fly a plane.
Yeah.
Have you seen the cockpit of a plane? There's
Insane.
fucking 10 trillion
Yeah.
electronics in there. Something screws them up, and like,
Yeah.
you got to take manual mode, and shit's
No,
going down.
that is valid, but don't planes, fly there every day? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, here's the
Yeah,
thing.
but a lot of this stuff happened.
Like, is there
in the 30s, 40s, 50s,
Yeah.
and 60s?
Yep.
when technology was shit.
We were just getting into mass plane.
Transit.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were getting real good at it.
So that's
Later.
another thing that I looked up,
Yeah.
and I was talking to Eric about this actually before the podcast, is the last known incident. I try to find, okay, when was the last like Bermuda Triangle problem?
Yeah.
And there's a bunch, and like the last like documented one was like 2017. There's a bunch in 2017, 2015.
Okay.
Really?
But they all found, they crashed and they found the
found
wreckage.
them.
Yeah, they found
Yeah.
that people survived. and, like,
planes
That's what I'm saying.
or
both
ships?
planes and
Just
boats.
all the things.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But they
is so
found them.
it
It's
seems-
not like they didn't disappear. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
we found the
Like,
shit.
it could have happened in Daytona.
This seems like a 1900 to 1970 problem.
Yeah, that was like a
You know?
that was
Like,
like a
it's just like the-
pre iPhone problem.
Yeah, he went over 10 examples, all 1880
Yeah.
to 1968.
68.
Yeah.
Just like combination of human error, weather,
Yeah.
and the legend.
I'm pretty sure Jorge's like, the Atlanteans got all the data they needed. They don't need to crash any ships anymore. It's all done. Experiment over.
although to be fair, I would never take a flight from Bermuda to London.
I would never. I know. It's
I mean, it's just call it what it is.
Oh.
I'm not gonna fly through it, right?
No.
No,
Taking
no
off
way.
from JFK to
Would you?
London.
Dude, I'll go
No.
from TPA, baby.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let's say we
Direct
were.
flight.
Let's say we were in Puerto Rico.
I've done
and
it
I was
many
like-
times.
Let's say we were in Puerto Rico, and I was like, "Hey, let's go to Dublin."
If we're in Puerto Rico,
Oh hell yeah, I'd go. I'd be like,
Yeah.
we're going to Dublin.
do you-
I'll fly from anywhere. I'll fly from Moscow
but
to
we're gonna
Dublin.
go. No, that's not the point.
yes.
But you're gonna.
So the point is, you're scared of the
I'm-
triangle. Still,
I won't fly. I'll be like, let's go. To,
I love how
let's
Eric
go to-
Eric
let's
doesn't
go to
believe it,
Tampa.
but he won't fly through it.
No, I won't fly through it.
Not going to
I've
take the
flown it.
risk.
What?
By the way, I just realized I've flown it. I went to Puerto Rico.
No, you did.
Yes, I did.
Well, you went then.
You sure you didn't?
You went to
No,
the,
you
you
go
went to
through
the
here.
Gulf
You
of
go
Mexico.
Puerto
You down
Cuban.
here. You went from Miami or whatever to Puerto Rico or Tampa to
Tampa
Puerto Rico.
to
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
Oh,
yeah,
see,
I'm
Tampa,
pretty sure.
Tampa gets you from here,
Oh,
but you still
yeah,
got to go
right on the edge.
Unless you go like this.
Yeah.
It goes a little wraparound.
Although I did
next
notice,
time I'm gonna
I
make sure
did-
to go through the middle.
I
then.
did notice a major personality shift with Jorge after you went. Like, could be a little body swap. You know what I mean?
Fucking aliens
He took the
me.
flight and then it's not really Jorge.
Wait, when was
anymore.
that? What was the date of that flight, Jorge?
He was like balding before.
I know,
Now
now
he's got a full head of hair.
It's all
What
like
the fuck?
It's like thick as fuck. Like, what did they do to you? He's like the man. It's that Atlantean technology.
All right, so what do you think?
I
you
already said it. That's
oh, yeah,
fucking
no,
said
that's-
anything.
Yeah,
Sean's-
same. I just think it's a combination of the human error,
Yeah.
plus the weather and the fact that like a lot of this, well, at least the examples that we brought up, they were when, like you said, the planes were just starting to get mass produced. They were just trying to get the hang
Yeah,
of it.
yeah,
The
we're
technology
learning.
wasn't the same. Whatever. Yeah, I don't think it's a thing. I used to think
You
it
don't
was
think it's a thing? Really?
No, I don't think it's a
Nothing.
thing at all. No, nothing.
They probably also didn't have a good, maybe like rain.
Except for the weather. Like nowadays,
Weather.
just weather.
Yeah.
like
But-
your car tells you like you have like 18 miles to empty. It's like pretty accurate.
All right, well, I mean, it sounds like this conspiracy, this mystery, or this whatever it is,
Debunked.
just kind of slowly eroded because it just didn't hold any water.
And I also think it. Oh wow, pun intended. Dad joke supreme.
Yeah.
I also think that the writers back then were just trying to sell books.
I
and they were
know,
just like,
right?
please.
I know. I know it's true. Well, we hate to end an episode on complete logical explanation, but honestly, I think we all agree.
I think
that
you
it's-
guys agree.
Yeah, I think it's. Now, I will end off by saying I would never fly through it, and I would never sail a ship through it.
Oh, I would never sail a ship through
I don't
that.
know why.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I wouldn't.
Ship?
I wouldn't
No.
take a cruise through that.
So what does that mean? Does that mean I'm like 98%?
I'm like a 97 and a half.
Yeah.
97.5.
All right.
Like there's a 2.5 chance that we go into the void.
Yeah. I'm definitely not taking like a schooner, us three.
Oh, a small sailboat.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely not going through there.
No,
Yeah.
I don't care how rich we are. We're not doing that.
Fuck that shit.
I'm not even.
It might be a cool way to go out. Like say we're like 85. You know what I mean? We're 85, you're done. You're like, I'm done. And then
the
you get
worst
a
way to do
sailboat and you go sail
Yeah,
out
and then
into the triangle.
and then drown
Sounds like
to
a
death.
fucking horrible death.
It's the worst way to die.
Well, there you go, guys.
All right, guys.
Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. Please tell us what you think and
Yeah, we're definitely going to do a poll on that.
And I hope you don't think this episode was a waste. That there's no.
No, I mean, maybe that's, we got to get to the bottom of all these. That's the whole point.
That is the point.
That's the
this
point.
This is an educational podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
fill the vacuum, so to speak.
a lot of people like us when we were, before driving into this, it was such a big thing, especially when we were younger.
Dude, I thought when I was going into the research of this, I was totally
top 10, right?
There's some fucking sketch shit going. I'd always thought it was a thing, and then I was like, oh yeah, shit hasn't happened in there a while. I'm like, I haven't actually thought about that.
But if you went to a bar and you said, "Hey, what are the top 10 conspiracies?"
Oh, Bermuda
it's going to be in there.
Top number 5.
It's going to be in
there. Well,
if you're
if you're in our age group,
yeah.
If you're like a Gen Z or you're like, what the fuck's the Bermuda Triangle? Is it on TikTok? Is TikTok dance?
I don't even know what that is. Gen Z. That's the new one?
Yeah, it's like
Gen X. No.
That after us?
No, I think Gen Z is here.
I'm a new thing.
Or you fucking Google it.
That's when you know you're.
You guys are Gen Z.
I'm not fucking Gen Z.
I'm a millennial.
Oh, okay.
What's Gen Z? I'm a millennial
I'm a
too.
Gen Z,
Weirdly,
then.
No, you're not. Gen Z is
fuck?
after.
What the fuck am I then?
You're a millennial. No, you're 80.
You're a baby
81?
boomer.
81. Baby boomer.
No, you're Gen X.
X.
Gen X.
All right, no, so Gen Z is mid to late 1990s and the early 2010s.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
As the ending birth years.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest millennial that exists.
Yeah, you're like the last. You're the tag end
it's
of
like
the millennial.
82 to 94 or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
So I'm the last of the.
You're the
Xers?
youngest.
Or the
You're
youngest.
the youngest.
Oh yeah.
Cool. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, so now that we know where we stand on the generational lettering system. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Definitely hit us with the comments and
Nighty night.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to reach out to us, please email us at info@theconspiracypodcast.com. You can check us out on Instagram at @conspiracypodcast. Also, don't forget to subscribe. You can catch a new podcast almost every week. Just hit the little subscribe button at the top. It's a plus sign. We love show ideas, corrections, hate mail. Thanks a bunch.